right. So let's get started with some proper reacts. What I think we'll do is we'll start off. You guys mentioned this. 13, what was it? 1348 ex voto. Riv put out a video on that. So why don't we check out a video on that? Now I have seen something of this game. I did watch Asmongold play I did see Asmongold play the demo. The one thing I know about this is it's basically got like butch lesbian woman or butch lesbian girl who wants to basically do the blonde, I think it's Italian, princess of the castle, and like wants to be a knight, but this is, 1348 Italy, where senile knights did not exist in 1348 Italy. And this woman wanted to be a knight, and of course we have the traditional, 2010s butch lesbian haircut. Again, something you didn't really see in 1348. I have no doubt to Trigger Savage it. And like the character models look bad. When they did like the cinematics and the close-ups of the character models, the blonde princess that this girl clearly has the hots for, the character model was bad. Like it was the uncanny valley was starring with this game in the cutscenes. She disguised herself as a boy. Yeah, the problem is she didn't go into, that was the whole thing. Like, yeah, they're like, oh, come at, like when you play as this character, which she was going up against guards, like, come at me, boy. It's like, oh God, are they really trying to do this shit? But yeah, they did do this shit. So yeah, it's obviously this game has not been doing well. So let's see just how bad it really is.
Hey, what's up guys, Riv here. So it's
Hey,
March
Rev.
12th, which of course means the official release of 1348X Voto, a release date I'm sure most of you had written down in your calendars because you were so excited to see this indie game finally be released. Now, if you know the full story behind this game and its development team and the reception on social media, you know this game has modern audience written all over it. It begins with the plot summary. Basically, this takes place in a medieval setting where the main protagonist is a lesbian knight out there with the goal of saving her female lover. It checks all the progressive boxes.
Oh God,
it also has a
By the way, you gotta love the description. A young knight. She wasn't a knight. She wanted to be a knight. She wanted to be a knight real bad. But she wasn't a knight. She can't be a knight. Because she's a woman in 1348. So, this is a fucking lie. Yeah, couldn't even be a squire. She could be a scullery knight. She could absolutely be a scullery knight. Night Coyote.
Social media team that is doing what a lot of indie social media teams do these days, and that is anger everybody by openly admitting they want to pander to a modern agenda. They also had a bunch of activists on social media and games journalists propping.
What are the odds that Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with this? They've been keeping well under the radar these days. So what are the odds that Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in this game? You know what? I'm actually intrigued. I want to find out. Let me find out. Let's see. Was Sweet Baby Inc. involved? Let's see. Ding. Not seeing anything. Nothing overt. Not seeing anything overt that is saying Sweet Baby Inc. is involved. All right. Nothing that I'm seeing so far. But we'll see.
Up this game and even making the claims that it was going to prove all of the chuds, all of the haters wrong when it was officially released. Well, did they prove anyone wrong? Absolutely not. This game instantly flopped and fell on its face with only a couple hundred people actually showing up for the official release. And if you look at the Metacritic score as well, it is abysmal. Not even games journalists are going to pretend to like this anymore.
Yeah, because Paradox is so cute. I can't handle it. She's just she's so cute.
Killer Penguins, thank you for the follow. Yeah, because it's not even just the graphics. Like, it's not even like, okay, it's got a lesbian knight and she wants to fuck the princess or whatever. It's like the combat wasn't great either. The player controls, the movement, all total, it was bad. When I was watching Asmund play the game, you're supposed to be like running because the villa where your princess is on fire and you want to go rescue her. And the sprint, like the actual run where you're supposed to be like sprinting, was barely like a light jog. The combat was stupid. The combat was terrible. And is just overall, even if you removed the lesbian aspect of it, which shouldn't have existed in 1348 to begin with, the camera perspective, the combat, the movement, every aspect of this game just looked horrible.
This was a game that pandered to the modern audience.
Thanks for being nice for the follow.
She's so cute.
The modern audience, the people who don't actually support anything they pretend to care about on social media. Now, this game, from its inception, has been an absolute disaster, and a lot of this sort of controversy surrounding this game is thanks to their official account on Twitter that has said some really dumb things. Okay, despite reaching a 100,000 count of their wish list, according to them, because you can't see these sorts of data points on Steam, there's really no basis for this number because there is only a few thousand people actually following the Steam account in the first place. So this 100,000 wishlist number is already very suspect, and people were seeing this as a massive win for their team.
And by the way, the other reason why the 100,000 wishlist is sus is who actually heard about this game before the demo came out and people started roasting on it like Asmongold? Who even heard about this game coming out before like a week or two ago? Simple answer, no one. No one fucking knew about this game. No one had a sweet fucking clue that this game even existed until the demo dropped like a week or two ago. You saw Savvy call out the devs a couple months ago. Okay, so that's like the majority of the advertisement that this game had was when Madam Savvy called out the devs a couple months ago. That's the bulk of their advertising. Nobody knew this game was even coming. Nobody knew what that. Nobody even knew. So 100,000 wish lists? Yeah, X's the fucking down on that. Seriously, no one was anticipating this games. And yeah, like the wish lists do not equal sales. However, we don't know when this post was made. We don't have a date on this post. They could have put out this Twitter post like a month or month and a half before the game ever even released. So it's in that respect, yeah, wish list is not the same as sales. Clearly.
And this was a sign that the official release was going to prove everyone wrong. Well, the writing was on the wall all along. The story trailer that was released about a month ago had a sterling 3,900 likes versus 19,000 dislikes. And the only thing journalists could say about this game, the only praise they could give it was...
Because of course. Ex-Voto's lesbian knife is the shakeup the medieval genre needs. Why? Better question. Why did the medieval genre need a shakeup to begin with? I'm sorry, was anybody bored of the medieval genre to begin with? Why did it need a shakeup? To the best of my knowledge, medieval and high fantasy are still a very beloved genre to this day. It didn't shake. Not at all. People liked it just fine. So, yeah, this is Stacey Henley desperately showing for this studio.
Was the fact that it had LGBT themes to it. In fact, here is an article from The Gamer saying 1348X Voto's lesbian night is the
Wait, okay, I have to read this before we continues. This is the author's biography. Stacey Henley is the Newcastle-born and based editor-in-chief at The Gamer and an award-winning features writer with experience across written and video content. She won the GGW Award, don't even know what the fuck that is, for her feature on the parasocial marketing of Cyberpunk 2077 and has been twice nominated for the Game Powers Award for Journalism. She specializes in analysis of AAA trends, cinema, and Taylor Swift. Yeah, I really trust her journalistic integrity.
shakeup the medieval genre needs. Is it now? Will that actually transcend over into people playing the game? Well, as you already know, the answer
Spoiler!
is absolutely not. But also, in the final days of their promotion for this game, some of the people behind the game and the voices of the characters came out. And the only thing they could really say about the game is how amazing it is that there is a lesbian main protagonist, and the fact that apparently bowl haircuts are actually really, really attractive, and anyone who dislikes a bowl haircut on a woman is crazy.
So that was a fucking lie.
That's all I gotta say about that. No, Swift did not know. Well, I don't think Taylor Swift went. Well, personally, I don't know because I give less than a fuck about Taylor Swift. It's just all of these stupid drunk wine moms love Taylor Swift, or they want, all these drunk wine moms that want to pretend to be how do you do, fellow kids. Just love Taylor Swift. Oh, she's so great. That's the whole concept there. And yeah, bowl cuts have never been attractive. Let me rephrase. Bowl cuts were attractive on the Beatles. That is the one and only fucking time over the course of human history that bowl cuts were ever attractive. And that's when it was done by the Beatles. That's it. One time. It was a flash in the pan, lightning in a bottle, and has never been replicated. Ever.
Well, the demo comes out, free to play, of course, and it only peaked at 167 players. Now, any sane human being saw this and immediately thought, wow, this is a disaster. But people were still coping on social media saying, it's just a demo, that doesn't mean anything.
Technically, Spock didn't have a bowl cut. He just had a very close crop hairstyle. It was not a bowl cut.
Well, looking at the team on social media, they've done everything in their power to make sure this game failed. Back in January, when asked the question, why do devs keep making intentionally unattractive female characters, the official account for 1348X Voto said, why do you expect a woman to necessarily be attractive?
And there it is. 1348X. Again, do I need to tap the sign? Why do we think that Japanese games or games made in Japan sell like hotcakes versus games made in the West sell like shit? Because games in the West make the characters look ugly as fuck. Both men and the women, they don't treat the men all that much better, although they do treat them a little bit better because gotta give the women that eye candy, but then the women have to look like ugly dogs. Japanese games, they make everyone gorgeous. Everyone in Japanese games looks simply gorgeous, darling. Why? Because Western dads refuse to acknowledge the one very simple tenet when it comes to selling anything involving people. Sex fucking sells. This is very simple. This is very basic. You don't have to like it, but you damn sure better respect it if you plan to make money. Sex sells. Don't hate the player, hate the game, and then deal with it. So yeah, that is why people expect a woman to be attractive, because when someone plays a video game, they're not playing it for reality. Having a game that has realistic physics or things like that is fun and interesting, and it makes it a nice part of the game. But the characters need to be attractive. They need to be pretty. They need to be cute. They need to be gorgeous. They need to be sexy. Because it is a very basic fact that human beings like to look at pretty things. That is basic. Human beings like pretty things. Then, the predominant purchaser of video games in the industry like to look at hot women. They don't like to look at ugly women. And if you're going to have an ugly woman on screen the entire time you're playing a game, if you are going to ask guys, hey, you're going to be taking control of this ugly butch lesbian. No. If she's going to be a lesbian, she better be fucking hot. Because guess what? Hot take. If they had made the main character in this game hot, guys actually wouldn't have cared if she was a lesbian. I'll say this right now. If the main character of 1348 Ex Voto had been hot, or even just like pretty, then would have had people would not have had a single problem with this game and with the character being lesbian. There'd be some people bitching about it, sure. You're gonna get people bitching about going, God, why do they have to inject LGBT into every game these days? Sure, of course. Of course that's gonna happen. But by and large, most gamers, the paying customer, would have been totally fine with playing a lesbian main character if she was pretty, if she was cute, if she was
Paradox
hot.
is so cute. I can't handle it. She's so cute.
So yeah, that's what fucked them in the ass. Is like, well, why does a woman have to be attractive? And this is probably because a lot of the game devs are ugly women, and so they basically did a self-insert. They basically wanted to do a self-insert for the game as I'm ugly, so I'm gonna make an ugly woman as the main character, specifically so like we can try and twist the narrative and go, look, this is actually beautiful. Don't you think this is beautiful? You're a misogynist if you don't think this is beautiful. And that's basically what it boils down to. Because they made the decision to make the main character ugly, they were immediately behind the 8 ball.
Wow, so they're going with the modern audience approach, which represents a minute fraction of potential customers, and that's how you end up with a female.
That's the main character. This is who you are playing the entirety of this game. This is you in the game. At best, plain butch lesbian. Would you want to play this character? Yes, this is the MC. Would you want to play a game where you are this character? Nope. There's your answer. Yeah. No. If they had prettied her up, if they prettied up her face or something and given her if they prettied her up and given her you could even keep the short hairstyle with her. They prettied her up and gave her this hairstyle, they'd have no problem. Gamers would have no problem if she was a little prettier with a non-ugly bowl haircut style Yeah, give her a bob cut instead of a bowl cut, and gamers probably wouldn't have had as much any problem whatsoever. But they didn't. And well,
it was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
With a female main protagonist looking like this. An absolute terrible choice. Now, to make this even worse, and it's kind of a self-created problem, as I'll explain, around this time, Knight's Path, another indie action RPG that is set in a medieval setting, was promoting itself on social media. Now, people are going to naturally compare these games just because they had a similar genre shared between them.
Okay, hold up. I've seen this, man. I've seen you guys mention this. Jim Carrey pulled off the bowl cut look in Dumb and Dumber because he was supposed to look like a moron, because he was a moron. Jim Carrey did not look attractive in that bowl cut. And if you say he does, I'm going to call you a liar. The whole purpose of why Jim Carrey had the bowl cut is because he was an idiot. Hence the title of the movie, Dumb and Dumber. That's why it worked. That's why it worked for Jim Carrey. Is he was supposed to look like an idiot. He was supposed to look quote unquote bad.
To naturally compare these games just because they had a similar genre shared between them, but Knight's Path looks really promising, and the story is much more of that which you would expect from a medieval setting. And unlike 1348, they are promoting characters, in particular female characters, that are appealing designs. Now, of course, people saw...
But by the way, this shot of Emil is not what you see in the game. When I watched the demo playthrough that Asmund did, she looks pretty in this shot, right? Emil or Amelie, she looks pretty here, right? This is an attractive character, right? Doesn't look anything like this. They went from this to extremely uncanny valley in game.
This representation of this female character, and we're calling it like gooner bait and disgusting and unrealistic and all these things. But of course, people would ask the question.
No, it's not French. The game takes place in Italy. She's supposed to be Italian.
And all these things. But of course, people would ask the question. I hope you all have some LGBTQ representation in this game.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm also to screwed up. This is not from 1348. That I was wondering. Okay. My bad. I fucked up. This is not 1348. This is Knight's Path. I am way fucking wrong. I thought this was 1348 because yes, I had a me moment. I not scuffed. I had a me moment. Leave me alone. I have those. I did. I did confuse the lesbian princesses. My bad. I confused the lesbian princesses. Yes, this is Knight's Path. I confused it because the princess in 1348 is also blonde. That's where I got it confused. Sorry. This is okay. So this is an actual character, Knight's Path. Yeah, she looks lovely. Absolutely.
All these things. But of course, people would ask the question. I hope you all have some LGBTQ representation in this game, where the team over at Knight's Path said, we care about gaming and fun, not modern agendas, which
based. Fucking base dev right there. Take your agendas, go shove them up your ass. Games are supposed to be fun, not to push an agenda. Absolutely based response right there.
Scored them a lot of points with your average gamer. It made the activists seethe in rage, where people like this said, glazing the dude bros is never a good idea. They will hype you up on here, but they will never buy your product.
That's projection. Oh, that is desperate projection. Because what Henry is deliberately lying about, or is too stupid to realize, pardon me, is that the dude bros are the ones that buy the game. The dude bros are literally the paying customers. It's the activists, it's the mythical modern audience that doesn't buy the game. The mythical modern audience doesn't give a fuck about the game. They only care about virtue signaling. So, my guy, I have to break out this little date. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will take payment in the form of bits, subs, and donos. Just kidding.
Meanwhile, queer people are the ones who make fan art / fanfics, which keep your fandom alive and actually buy and support your products. Such a dumb hill to die on.
And by the way, I thank you, Moto. We're the queer people are the ones that make the fan art and fanfics. Really? See, last time I looked, it was the fans that make the fan art and the fanfics, not just queer people. Yeah, Mr. desperately trying to represent the queer people is actually stereotyping the queer people here, and he's doing it wrong. Thank you, Leaf. Thank you for the kickies. Yeah, he's actually stereotyping the queer people he's trying to stand for, and he's doing it fucking wrong. They'll actually buy and support the products. No, they won't. Thank you, Mark Sure. Thank you very much. They won't buy and support the products. That's the ever-loving point. That has been proven for probably at least the last fucking decade. That the modern audience, the quote-unquote queer people, don't buy the games. They don't facilitate the fandom. They just virtue signal and then fuck off to the next thing that they can virtue signal for and leave the game to die. So he's wrong, and he's actually doing wrong as well. He's literally wrong squared, which is honestly kind of fucking impressive. And Din Whittler, thank you for the subbies. Gifted subbies. Thank you very much.
This post would be 100% on the money if this was opposite day. Everything this person is describing is the modern audience. This is everything that 1348 was pushing for with their game, and they got exactly what they asked for. But this is where 1348X Voto made a gigantic mistake. They decided to directly confront and compare themselves with Knight's Path by saying, don't forget to wishlist and note the release date on your modern agenda. A clear jab at Knight's Path's team, and that is a mistake. Because this game, unlike 1348...
Holy... Yeah, look at that ratio. Holy shit. Roast it. 42,000 likes versus 556 dislikes. Ka-ching.
Is very well liked and very well received. The trailer of which released around the same time as 1348, and instead of getting dislike bombs, it got 42,000 likes versus 556 dislikes. Yeah, I think we all know who is looking better in the end here.
Oh, yes.
Then...
there we go. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is actually 1348. This is the princess that your character is in love with and desperately wants to fuck. This is her. Hey, chat, do you want to fuck this? Is this a woman that you'd want to romance and kiss lovingly beneath the moonlight? Yeah. This is actually her. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Fast forward to March 12th, the official release date of 1348X Voto. Now, we have the question here. Today's the day to see if the modern audience actually supports things made for them, or if it's a big virtue signal as
Gee,
always.
I wonder.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know the answer.
No, it's not, Zap. I don't think it is.
Right now, it's sitting at 387 in-game players. An absolute disaster. And the reviews, by the way, are atrocious. The Steam reviews, the Steam ratings, that is, below 50%. Not good. And to address the copium already, see this little flame right here? People see that this game is trending on Steam with the little flame next to it. All that means is that it's currently on its 24-hour peak player count, which of course is going to have that in the first day it's released. So that means absolutely nothing. And then you look at the chart here, it's already fallen off. It peaked at 427 players, and it's already starting to decrease by the hour. It peaked at 427 players.
Game. Now, the thing about this is this is a game, this one's not going to shut down. It's just going to basically go into maintenance. The devs are not going to roll out any patches for it. They might try and throw out some like perfunctory patches or fixes or something. Polygon, thank you for the 1,000 kickies. Thank you very much. But, yeah. Unlike, Concord and High Guard and soon-to-be Marathon, this one actually won't get shut down because this is not a live service game. At most, like, they're maybe going to maybe roll out 1 or 2 update patches for it, and then they're basically just to drop it into maintenance mode and forget about it. Because this is not a live service game. I don't think they're going to delist it because there's no further costs for them once the game is released. There's no there's probably no real online component to it. It's a single player local game. There's no multiplayer. I'm not sure if there is like a microtransaction store or not, but it's basically just a single player local game, not online. So this is one where if it crashes out, they're not going to care, and they'll just leave it in maintenance mode, and that's it. So that's where like the difference between this game versus a live service game like Marathon would differ in the response. Now, will the development studio shut down? Excellent question. That's certainly a possibility.
You get exactly what you deserve when you pander to the modern audience. You get the modern audience who does not actually support anything they talk about on social media. Instead, they just virtue signal for attention and brownie points on social media.
Probably, Hunter, probably.
Now, interestingly, on the release day, the official account for this game came out and said, this day is even more special to us because we have reached 250,000 wish lists.
So that was a fucking lie.
I'm going to call foul here. This seems very hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't believe it for a second.
250,000. They had 100,000.
Don't believe it for a second.
About 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago. And based on everything we can see, right, this is not a number that is shown on Steam. This is private data, so only the developers know the real number. But if you look around, nothing really makes sense.
I don't think it's feasible. 250,000 wishlisted? I don't think that's feasible. There was zero hype for this game. None whatsoever. There was practically no advertisement. They put out a story trailer 1 month before the launch. Nobody knew practically no one really knew about this game. So yeah, I'm saying that it is insanely unlikely that they had 250,000 wish lists. Could it have been botted? Doubtful. Because to bot the wish listing, they'd have to have Steam accounts to wish list it. So I won't say botting. I'm gonna say that the developers are just flat out fucking lying. That's what I'm thinking. They are desperate to hype it up They were dead because look at the date of this tweet. The morning of 13th, the morning of release. So I think that they lied. I think they flat out lied to try and make it seem like, oh, wow, there are a lot of people that really wishlisted this game. Don't you want to get in on the FOMO? They were trying to do FOMO and said, oh, yeah, look at how many people have wishlisted this. Don't you want to get in on it too? Because so many people have wishlisted this game. And I think that they lied to boost up the false amount of anticipation that was had for this game. That's my suspicion. That is my suspicion. They boosted the ever-living crap out of the numbers for as another marketing ploy.
Because there's only about 12,000 people following this game on Steam in the first place, and yet it has 250,000 wish lists. The demo came out and only got about 100 plus players on it, and yet somehow during that time, between the demo and release, it basically doubled or more than doubled its wishlist total. Like, this stuff doesn't make any sense. And how does 250,000 wishlists end up with a peak player count of about 427? That's insane.
Exactly.
But the comments are ripping this apart. I'm playing your game for views and not in the good way. You did this to yourself. Now, if only those wishlisters actually bought it. And people just posting memes as well saying High Guard died. So 1348X Voto could fly. Which, by the way, High Guard is officially shut down.
It's
Congratulations, you earned every single one of those sales. When's the next one coming out? Shouldn't bot your wish list, and you shouldn't attack other games. You've lost millions for a modern audience that doesn't play games, and the quotes are not much better. This person's saying, happy modern agenda release day to those who celebrate. Let's see some of those people. Here's someone from the modern audience. Today is Medieval Lesbians Day.
Did you buy the game?
This is the modern audience.
Oh my god. FemV without Johnny Silverhand and Cyberware. Oh my god. Everyone now. Okay, well, Emma. 3/4 die Emma. Cool. Did you buy the game? You're saying like happy medieval lesbian day. Cool. Did you buy the game? Did you literally put your money where your mouth is? Bet you didn't. I bet you she didn't.
Right here, I'm glad you chose a focus on people like this instead of probably the remaining 99% of potential customers of this game. Here's another modern audience user saying, all the haters in the replies, watch me hit 400 hours on this quote-unquote woke game.
Prove it. Prove it. Stream it or record it and post to YouTube that you actually bought and played the game. Prove it. I don't believe you. I do not believe people that say shit like this. I do not believe you. I think you're lying just to virtue signal. Just to dog whistle or gaslight. I do not believe you. Flat the fuck out.
Well, best of luck to you. I hope to see you as the one remaining player on SteamDB in about a month when this game is probably getting ready to shut down. We have Smash JT saying, really excited.
Game is reported to take 9 hours to beat tops. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, 9-hour-long day, and I'm going to do 400 hours on this game, which, by the way, there's probably no branching paths. Excuse me. There's probably no branching paths. There's probably no great choices. This is probably an, effectively speaking, an on the rails, go from this section to this section, fight some bad guys, go to the next section, fight some bad guys, go to the next section, fight some bad guys, and you'll do that for 9 hours, and oh, yay, you beat the game. Yay.
When this game is probably getting ready to shut down. We have Smash JT saying, really excited about the content we'll be able to make out of this.
Yep.
Exactly.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing more,
content creators are going to have a
more
gold
worth
like
your
this.
time in scenarios like this than making content out of crappy games like this that appeal to the modern
Thank
audience.
you, Mose.
250,000 Steam wishlist for 1348X Voto, and a peak on launch day so far 407 players. Your vapid, passive-aggressive attack on Knight's Path did nothing but earn you virtue points with people who don't buy video games. Congratulations.
Yep.
You reap what you sow. Now, I said there was also the medical.
Actually, Nutsky, chances are it's going to be some dialogue about how gender is not important when it comes to being a knight. Anybody can be a knight if you just have the heart for it. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter that I'm a woman. I have the heart of a knight, and that's all that matters. 5 seconds before a man twice her size and strength basically drives her into the ground like a hammer on a nail.
Critic ratings. And they're also abysmal. A total average of 53, which is pretty shocking for this game that was trying to check all of the progressive boxes.
Well, okay, also, I do want to point out... Oh, never mind, misread it, never mind.
Boxes. Even Games Radar, one of the higher ratings at 60, says it starts with a wealth of potential and unfortunately manages to squander it at every turn, creating a hollow, rage-inducing, and disappointing experience, with its beautiful depiction of Italy and talented performers being its only saving graces.
I have one thing that I can agree with. Based on what I saw in the demo, the setting of the game did look good. The graphics in terms of the visuals with the setting did look impressive. You did get as said here, a rather beautiful depiction of medieval Italy. The vistas that you could see, the backgrounds, the textures, like of the setting did look good. They seemed to get those right, and that's literally it. The character models looked ugly as shit. The performers, from what I saw, the performances were horrendous, as was the character models. So the background is literally the only thing they got right.
Races. Tech Radar Gaming with a 60. 55 from multiplayer.it saying quotation forthcoming. Can't wait for that. IGN Italia with a 50. Game Reactor UK with a 50. And even The Gamer with a 50. If The Gamer is giving you a 50 after literally making fluff pieces about this game and how stunning and brave it was, you know you really messed up. Now, hopefully users like this will show up for 1348X Voto. I had to share this because it's some cope about Marathon that can be applied to many different games that we talk about. This person said, people will spend $40 to DoorDash some food 1 mile away from them, but making the decision to buy a $40 game that people spent years making is fun and corporations put millions of dollars into is too much. It doesn't make sense.
Here's the difference. By all accounts, this game was not fun. This game was ugly, and DoorDash actually serves a purpose of actually providing you nutrition. So yeah, that's why people will spend $40 to DoorDash something a mile away and not spend $40 on literally a waste of time. DoorDash actually is beneficial to you. This game has zero benefit to you whatsoever. There you go. I just answered your question for you.
Sense to me. Also, before people jump me, I constantly see this narrative that Marathon isn't worth $40, which is just illogical, as most people, especially in the United States, waste money constantly.
So this idiot literally tanked her own argument. She's like, oh, people will spend $40 to DoorDash food, but you won't spend $40 to buy a game that's fun. And then goes on to say that Marathon isn't worth money, so what? Most people waste money constantly. So this person's saying Marathon sucks too. So this person is saying, well, people will spend $40 on a shitty game like Marathon, so why aren't they spending $40 on a shitty game like 1438? Do you see the brain rot that these people have in like tripping all over themselves and doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to try and basically call you an istophobe for not spending $40 of your hard-earned money on garbage. Garbage, which I'll remind you, you can finish in 9 hours. What? Talking strictly about Marathon? Is it? Okay. Is it talking strictly about Marathon? Hey.
As most people, especially in the United States, waste money constantly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the consumer who just says, shut up and consume. Consume the slop. Spend $40 on it. I mean, of course, the studio spent a lot of time making it, and corporations put millions of dollars into it. You have...
Well, Dan, to your point, I don't mind spending $40 for a 9-hour game if the game is good. I disagree. I strongly disagree with that. Why should I spend $40 for a 9-hour game, even if it's good, when I can spend 20 hours on a game, when I spent $20 on a game that is continuous, will never end, and is fun. There are plenty of games out there that are under $40 that have a much longer playtime than 9 hours and are really good. For $40 for a 9-hour game in and of itself is insane. If this is a game that you will play and finish in 9 hours, and if you can finish it in 9 hours, if you can finish a game in 9 hours, it has next to zero replayability. $40 is insane. For a 9-hour game that probably has next to no replayability, $25 for that specific kind of game. I could see a price tag of 20 to $25, maybe even edge it up into $30 if it's like done really well. But for a 9 hours of playtime, zero replayability, now $40, fuck that shit.
Have to buy it because you spend money on other frivolous things. That is one of the weakest arguments I've ever seen. Like, literally, why are you running defense for these massive corporations? Just because they spent a lot of time and money making it means you're, I guess, emotionally captured and you have to spend $40 on a game like Marathon or money on a game like 1348X Voto. Like, this is absolutely cooked. And yes, someone spending money on frivolous...
Oh, did it? Did it release at $25 an hour or $25? Okay. If 1348 released at $25, then you know what? Okay. I can accept that. That's you know what? That's reasonable. At least they priced it reasonably. I will give them credit for that. That their release price was $25. That's reasonable. The game is dog shit, but that's a reasonable price for the amount of content that you get. I'll give it to.
Things does not require them to spend it on other frivolous things like Marathon, for example. That is illogical. But here's a good summation of everything we've been talking about today with 1348X Voto. So, the lesbian knight medieval action combat game 1348X Voto launched today with only around 400 players. Did anyone expect any different? Ugly characters, terrible combat, janky combat, or terrible story, janky combat, horrible animation, full-on modern agenda, probably one of the worst games to release this year, and it's dead on arrival. Yes, that face is supposed to be the face of a woman. As usual, the modern audience didn't show up to play the game.
Slight adjustment there. That face is supposed to be the face of a woman pretending to be a man. Because yes, this is a woman pretending to be a man. There was a whole thing with, when you're fighting the guards are calling you boy. You're supposed to actually look like a guy, even though you're a woman.
A very good summary, but do you know who's going to have an audience? Knight's Path, who just crossed, by the way, 300,000 wish lists on Steam. And given the much larger level of support for their trailer.
Much more believable.
I believe this number of Wishlist, and I think this game is going to do really well because it is not pandering to a modern audience or modern agenda. It is trying to give a good experience for what the vast majority of gamers actually want for a game set in a medieval setting. I think this game is going to do really well, and once again will prove all the activists on social media
I'll look it up afterwards
for the millionth time. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, another one bites the dust. Let's see what Knight's Path. Let's see what Knight's Path is doing, because it should have released, yeah? Okay, it hasn't released yet. But look, Knight's Path's follower count. The followers of Knight's Path alone eclipses 1348's entire player base. So it hasn't released yet. It's due to release, I don't know when. To be announced. Okay, it has yet to be announced. Yeah, actually, I want to see that. Hang on. I want to see the trailer for this. I have not seen the trailer for Knight's Path. Hang on. I actually want to see the trailer for this. Right? Okay. And we're pre-alpha footage. Okay. So we're going to smooth this out. Beautiful costumes. Nick. Angle. What? Wow, nice hit. They're dragons? You fight dragons? Okay. That does look bad. Oh my god, a giant snap. Like, the graphics on it do look... Oh, there's a little jank. There is a little jank with these like with the movement. The movement is smooth, but it does look kind of awkward. But again, this is pre-alpha. They're not and this was 1 month ago. We're only in pre-alpha, and so they can smooth out a lot of the jank that I was seeing. The movements themselves look good. They just like the movements kind of looked awkward. Smooth but awkward. But for pre-alpha, that looks great. It really does. Compared to just for hang on. Let's do some all right, look at the launch trailer. Here's 1348.
Justify the means. Every deed has a price. In times such as this, when folk feel abandoned by their fellows, abandoned by God.
The blood is black. They couldn't even make the blood red. They made the blood black. Hang on. They made the blood black. That's blood. So these people have oil for blood.
Abandoned by God, wrath and vengeance thrive like weeds.
Wherever you are, I shall find you, Bianca. This, I vow.
Yeah. And from what I heard, the play controls for this combat is awkward as fuck.
This bloodshed.
Like, look at these slashes. She's literally the way they did this, she's slashing the armor. She's literally slashing the armor and it's cutting them. That's right across the plate. She's literally doing a slash across the plate. And the guy's, and look, there's blood coming from his face.
Shit. This suffering must end.
Yeah, that was one of the big complaints. The character, the camera angle was horrible, and you can't adjust it. Like, terrible camera angle. The controls for combat were janky as fuck and, like, really hard to deal with. The movement was terrible. Like, again, we saw the backgrounds were good. The environment looked good. That was the one thing that I could say, is that the environment looked good. We didn't actually get to see the excessively jank character models like in the cutscenes. We saw in Red's video. The character models in the cutscenes were jank as fuck. But again, the difference between the two, Knight's Path looks fun. Knight's Path looks fun when you're doing it, when you're fighting. When you, as the knight, when you're hitting the armor, you could see it splanking and sparking, as opposed to doing a cut against solid plate metal, and the person that gets hit goes, oh, and spews blood out of the mouthpiece. Like, the fuck? So, yeah. Not to mention the excessive levels of virtue signaling that the devs did. This game is dead, and, well, I'm here for it.